Hey everyone, it's Lexi. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you all the books that I purchased over the month of June, and this is an uncharacteristically big book haul. I think the stress that I had with my candidacy exam, which is essentially like my dissertation proposal, made me just kind of spend a lot on books. So I will be done buying books at least for the foreseeable future. There's like a few books that I have pre-ordered, but for the most part this is kind of it for the rest of the year, basically, in terms of buying a lot of books at once. So these are kind of all over in terms of genre. I'm really excited about them. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So starting out, this is a book that I am going to be reading for a book club with my friend and also her friend group, and it is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dare. I think that's how you say it, but essentially it is the remarkable, inspiring story of a teenage girl growing up in a rural Nigerian village who longs to get an education so that she can find her louding voice and speak up for herself. And I think this one sounds really interesting, and just not only dealing with kind of Nigerian culture, but also seeing the main character kind of learn to, you know, express her voice and like use it and just kind of find her, you know, courage to stand up for herself sounds really interesting, and I am super excited for this one. I wouldn't have checked this book out if we weren't reading it, because I don't know, the title sounds a little bit strange, but once I read the synopsis I was hooked. So these next three were ones that were featured in my book haul Come Shopping With Me kind of online book shopping that I did earlier this month, so you can go and check that out if you want to. Featured in that video, I first got The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I feel like this is a classic dystopian sci-fi novel, and it kind of sounds eerily similar to kind of our current state. So when global climate change and economic crisis leads to social chaos in the early 2020s, California becomes full of dangers, from pervasive water shortages to masses of vagabonds who will do anything to live to see another day. 15-year-old Lauren lives inside a gated community with her preacher father, family, and neighbors, sheltered from the surrounding anarchy. In a society where any vulnerability is a risk, she suffers from hyper-empathy, a debilitating sensitivity to others' emotions, and it kind of goes off from there. This is obviously a very well awarded book, and so I'm really excited too. I've heard great things about this, and so I'm really excited to pick this one up. Next up in that video, I ended up getting Master of the Planet, The Search for Our Human Origins. For those of you who don't know, in addition to getting my bachelor's in science in biomedical engineering, I also got it in anthropology. So anything relating to human evolution I find completely fascinating, and so this one sounds really interesting. It kind of talks about how we evolved to the way that we are and all those things. I just think is so interesting. So our ancient origins, the rise of bipedal apes, and all those things. So I think it's going to be really interesting, and this is so exciting. Even just how our skeletons change to accommodate being bipeds, I think is super interesting, and I don't know, the anthro nerd in me is really kind of showing with this one. And finally, in that book haul, I also got The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, which I'm really excited about. It sounds like a creepy thriller type thing, and the tagline is "Two sisters, one truth, but which one of them knows it?" And so it follows a girl so Fern works in her local library. She has dinner with her twin sister Rose 3 nights a week, and she avoids crowds, bright lights, and loud noises as much as possible. Fern has a carefully structured life, and disrupting her routine can be dangerous. When Rose discovers that she cannot get pregnant, Fern sees her chance to pay her sister back for everything Rose has done for her. Fern can have a baby for Rose. She just needs to find a father. Simple. Fern's mission will shake the foundation of the life she has carefully built for herself and stir up dark secrets from the past in this riveting, rich, and shocking story of unexpected love, which sounds really interesting. It's also very short too, it's just over 300 pages. So I think this one is going to be a really quick read, and I am so excited to pick it up. So next up, this is a little bit different than what I normally tend to read, and it is The Bench by Meghan Markle, which I don't really read kids books, but I was intrigued, and I've already read it because you can read it really quickly, but I loved the illustrations in here. This was based on a poem that she wrote Prince Harry for their first Father's Day, and it kind of goes into that and the relationship between father and son. I love the illustrations in here. I loved how inclusive it was. This book, obviously, people have a hard time really appreciating Meghan Markle, and they just really kind of trash on her, which I think is just horrible, but this book is really good despite people being really kind of nasty about it. But yeah, I liked it, and it's good to have a collection for my kids one day. So actually the rest of these books were all bought at my local bookstore, so I'm like, even though I spent a lot of money on these books, I'm kind of bringing it back into my community, so that's how I justified all this book spending this month. But yeah, basically the first book that I got is The Witch's Heart, which I've had my eye on for a while, and I'm super excited for it. So I don't know how to say this name, so I think it's Anne Grobova. Story begins where most witches' tales end, with a burning. Punishment from Odin for refusing to provide him with knowledge of the future. The fire leaves Angroba injured and powerless, and she flees to the farthest reaches of a remote forest. There she is found by a man who reveals himself to be Loki, and our initial distrust of him transforms into a deep and abiding love. And so it kind of goes off from there, but this one sounds super interesting. Like, it basically says, when a banished witch falls in love with the legendary trickster Loki, she risks the wraths of the gods in this moving subsurface debut novel that reimagines Norse mythology. I think this one sounds interesting. I'm not really familiar with Norse mythology besides basically like the Thor Marvel movies, but you know, that's loosely based on that. But I want to get into more mythology in here, and I think this one sounds really intriguing and a lot of fun. And so, keeping up with the mythology theme, I then have Eradine by Jennifer Saint, and this one also has an interesting, so it says sister, lover, traitor, hero. And so it says Eradine is the princess of Crete, growing up greeting the dawn from her beautiful dancing floor and listening to her nursemaid stories of gods and heroes, but beneath her golden palace echoes the ever-present hoofbeats of her brother, the Minotaur, a monster who demands blood sacrifice. When Theseus, the prince of Athens, arrives to vanquish the beast, Eradine sees in his green eyes not a threat but an escape. To find the gods betraying her family and country and risking everything for love, Eradine helps Theseus kill the Minotaur. But will Eradine's decision ensure her happy ending? And what if Phidias, the beloved younger sister she leaves behind? So this one sounds interesting too. I love the ancient Greek setting. My dad's side of the family is Greek too, so just kind of I want to learn more about the mythology of what, you know, of their culture. Sounds really interesting. Again, I heard really great things about this one too, so I am excited. This was a book I did end up picking up from Barnes and Nobles, but I had a coupon and I was like, you know what, we're treating ourselves, we're going to Barnes and Noble. And so I ended up getting When the Stars Go Dark by Paula McLain, and this one sounds super interesting. And so basically it's kind of like a murder mystery. So it says Anne Hart is a seasoned missing persons detective in San Francisco with far too much knowledge of the darkest sides of human nature. When tragedy strikes her personal life, Anna, desperate and numb, flees to the Northern California village of Mendocino to grieve. She lived there as a child with her beloved foster parents. Now she believes it might be the only place left for her. Yet the day she arrives, she learns that a local teenage girl has gone missing, and the crime feels frighteningly reminiscent of the most crucial time in Anna's childhood, when the unsolved murder of a young girl touched Mendocino and changed the community forever. This one sounds really interesting. I love kind of murder mysteries that have like a past present storyline in here, and this one sounds just extra chilling and just a lot of fun, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. I think this one might be a good one to read kind of around the fall time. This is one that I am super excited about, and it is The Paris Library by Janet Skeslien Charles. I think that's how you pronounce the name there. And so this one is again a kind of dual storyline, but sorry, I have an email. A dual storyline. So it says Paris 1939. Young and ambitious oldie Sauchet has it all. Her handsome police officer Boo in a dream job at the American Library in Paris. But when the Nazis march to occupy the city, Odalie stands to lose everything she holds dear, including her beloved library. Together with her fellow librarians, Odalie joins the resistance with the best weapon she has, books. But when the war finally ends, instead of savoring freedom, him, Oldie tastes the bitter sting of unspeakable betrayal. And then it goes Montana, 1983. Lily is a lonely teenager looking for adventure in small-town Montana, and the air and mystery around her solitary elderly neighbor from Paris piques her interest. As Lily uncovers hints about her past, she finds that they share a love of language, the same longings, and the same intense jealousy. Never suspected that a dark secret connects them. This one sounds super interesting, and I cannot wait to pick it up. I love the ones that have, like, especially historical fictions that have like a past present day storyline that are connected somehow with the present day narration, which I'm super excited about, and you guys know how I am a sucker for World War II historical fiction. Next up, I ended up picking Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, and this is the second book in the kind of duology spin-off series surrounding Nikolai. And so I've been really wanting to get back into the kind of Grisha verse. I read the Grisha trilogy, and then I read the first book in Six of Crows, and then I read the first book in this one and this duology, and me and my friend eventually are gonna kind of read this series for our book club, so I thought it would be good to just have this one in hardback, because I have the first one in hardback too, so that is exciting. But I definitely want to get back into this world. I haven't watched the TV show yet, but that has kind of inspired me to kind of get back in this world again. And so Nikolai was my favorite character, and I think it'll be good if I reread the trilogy and the Six of Crows duology before reading this, because I was confused. I forgot who the characters were, so that's on me. But yeah, I'm curious to see. Like I said, I just have this one when we eventually get to it for our book club series. Next up, I have The Bluest Eyes by Toni Morrison, and I apologize, this one came in light packaging, and this is obviously a well-loved book. It is winner of the Nobel Prize. Like, it is a very important book. I'm gonna have to take this off actually, because I cannot read what is on the back to give you a good description of it. So this one again sounds very interesting. It says, Piccola breed love, a young black girl prays every day for beauty, mocked by other children for the dark skin, curly hair, and brown eyes that set her apart. She yearns for the blonde hair and blue eyes that she believes will allow her to finally fit in. Yet as her dreams grow more fervent, her life slowly starts to disintegrate in the face of adversity and strife. So I think this one is really interesting. It just talks about how we are very much kind of obsessed with like our superficial kind of attributes, and I think again this one is very meaningful. I think it is like there is like you could buy this in like a pack, but I just wanted to get one individually to kind of see. But yeah, this one again sounds very interesting. Obviously it's very well loved and critically received, and I'm just a little bit upset that I haven't read this one because it is so well loved and very important, I think, especially now in terms of the kind of racial dialogues that have been raised within the past year. Next up, I have another historical fiction, which is the Book of Lost Names by Kristin Harmel, and this is one that I am super excited about. So it says, Eva, a semi-retired librarian in Florida, is at the returns desk one morning when her eyes lock on a photograph in a newspaper nearby. She freezes. It's an image of a book she hasn't seen in 65 years, a book she recognized as the Books of Lost Names. The accompanying article describes the looting of libraries across Europe by the Nazis during World War II, an experience Eva remembers all too well. As a graduate student in 1942, Eva was forced to flee Paris after the arrest of her father, a Polish Jew. Finding refuge in a small mountain town in the Free Zone, she begins forging identity documents for Jewish children fleeing to neutral Switzerland. But erasing people comes with a price, and along with a mysterious handsome forager named Remy, Eva decides she must find a way to preserve the real names of the children who are too young to remember who they are. The records they keep in the Book of Lost Names will become even more vital when the resistance cell that they work with is betrayed and Remy disappears. So I think this one sounds really interesting. I feel like I haven't read a lot of World War II historical fiction in a while, and hence why there's quite a few in here. So I'm really excited to pick this one up as well. It sounds very kind of similar with the Paris library where we kind of deal with the library, but nevertheless I'm still really excited for this one. And lastly, I never really buy like a whole trilogy together, so this is a little bit different for me, but I ended up getting the entire Brown Sisters trilogy by Talia Hibbert. So we have Get a Life Chloe Brown, Take a Hint Dani Brown, and Act Your Age Eve Brown. And so I'm really excited for this. I'm gonna do like a vlog type of thing with this where I just marathon this trilogy and kind of vlog the experience, so keep your eyes peeled for that, and if you're excited for that, let me know. But yeah, I've heard really great things. They're kind of adult romance, which I don't technically read, but everyone seems to really like them, and it just deals with different sisters and just kind of their own love experience, and they have pretty good representation in here as well. And this one, I know she has chronic pain, mental health, everything is explored in here, so I've heard really great things about this, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get them all. So got them all at the local bookstore, but it's kind of driving me nuts that the middle book is slightly different in size. I don't know if you can see that, maybe it's just me, but it's a little bit smaller, but that's okay. But I'm excited. But if you guys want to see kind of a vlog style of me kind of reading these all together, let me know. But yeah, these were all the books that I ended up getting, and I was like, you know what, I've been thinking about these books for a long time and I just need to bite the bullet. That's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've read these books and what you thought about them, or if there's any ones in here that you found really interesting. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.